I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Town of Sheffield Select Board for July 1st, 2024. I'd like to thank CTSB for recording, and if anyone wishes to record the meeting, please let the chair know. Item number 1 on the agenda is approval of meeting minutes. Did you have a chance to go through those minutes today?
Yeah, I have a question on one of them, so I'd like to pass on.
Okay, we'll table them for now. And I'm going to move item number 4, update from Berkshire Regional Planning Commission regarding the CDBG grant, because Brett is here, and I'm sure he would rather not be tortured with the rest of our business.
It is not torture at all. Hi, everybody. So back to my monthly update of the Community Development Block Grants program running in Sheffield right now. We had actually a pretty productive month considering our notification. But we're going to have the first bid walkthrough for a home upcoming in 2 weeks, which is kind of the first part of the process to get the construction rolling. Excited about that. That means the project will hopefully be wrapped up, that first one, by September. So a pretty good timeline there. We also have 6 more applicants in process right now, which is a good place to be at this stage. We're working through the income eligibility with all of those folks. We do have, and I don't give more detail than I need to in these, just because it is kind of a confidentiality situation. So if you guys have any questions, we can talk offline potentially. But we do have one property that we're working with the Board of Health on. This is a property that has some specific issues to be livable in, and we're just making sure the Board of Health is on the same page as us and Tri-Town Health as well. So altogether, we have about 8 projects right now of our total 15 that we want to achieve by the end of next July, which is a great place to be. The only question I had for the Select Board is the Citizens Advisory Council. I wasn't sure if you had time to put that together or...
We did.
Great.
And did we make the appointments to that?
I'm pretty sure that we did, but I will send him an email,
Great.
send you an email.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I need is like the names and...
I think we did it right after you left, which is why I can't remember.
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
Checked it off the to-do
Yeah,
list.
it's not a huge deal at the moment. That's just for those listening online and here in the room. That's a way for, if anybody has any complaints about how we do our process or how their project ended up, it's a way for them to have kind of a due process, if you will, to get some other eyes on the process. But that's my only updates. It's pretty short. I hope next month we'll have projects going forward. We'll have a lot more applicants ready to do some bid walkthroughs. We already have 2 dates in July and 2 dates in August that we know we're going to have some inspections going forward and some more walkthroughs. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, good. It's a good program so far. Any questions from anybody?
Brenda?
So do you have contractors lined up to do some of the projects?
Not yet. So the bid walkthrough is where the contractors will come out, and then they, depending on what they see, they'll either bid or not bid on the project. And we work typically, I mean, as we all know, contractors are hard to come by, especially good contractors, right? And so we have a few that we work with really closely that we know will be there. Okay. Some others will show up that we might not be as familiar with, but anybody who is licensed and insured in the state of Massachusetts is welcome to bid on these projects. And if you have any contractors, we're always looking for more. So send them my way, or those are publicly posted bids. So if you see them, feel free to send them to your folks as well.
Wonderful. Thanks.
Great. Thank you all.
Thanks, Brett. Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks.
Okay, back to item number 2, the FY 2025 appointments. We announced these last week, and I'm going to skip conservation so I can update you on that. BRPC delegate Sari Hoy, Constable Bruce Person, Historical Commission Lori Rydell, Housing Commission Susan Butler.
So you have a decision to make there?
Yeah, so let's hold on that one too. So I'll take a motion to approve BRPC, Constable, and Historical Commission.
I'll make a motion that we accept those appointments.
I'll second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So on the Conservation Commission, as you might remember, we had 6 people for 5 regular positions. So I reached out and called Ted Pittman, who's here with us this evening, and asked if he would consider taking a position as an alternate, because we need people that have experience to serve in the alternate position. and he agreed to accept the alternate appointment. You still okay with that, Ted?
No, actually, I want to come back and say, I applied for a full 3-year commission. It was on my cycle, it'll be my 3rd term on the commission. I also have, you can tell from the letter I wrote that I have previous experience being on this side of the fence as being the person who represented numerous companies here in Sheffield for one, Framingham for another, Randolph, Massachusetts for another. I've all been before those commissions as an agent for companies I work for. And I do have a bachelor's degree in biology with minor in chemistry.
Okay.
So I'd like to be considered for a full, I mean, if you decide that you'd rather not have me on the board, then I would consider the alternate, but I wanted to come here and express my strong concern that I be reappointed to the conservation.
Well, I wish you had called me, since we'd had a chat on the phone about it. It would have been a little easier to have that conversation one-on-one. So we're back to having 6.
Which is a nice problem to have. At one point, we were going to reduce to 3 because we didn't have enough.
Right, and I'd like to say, I'd like the idea of having young people, you know, having both experienced people and young people that are just coming on the committee. I think that's a good mix. So I'm not opposed to have, get my guy limited experience.
So I kind of feel like we need to drop back and reach out to the other 5 people to see if anyone is interested in the alternate position, unless you want to make a motion to pick
No,
amongst
as
the
long as
6.
it's okay, I would kick this down the road when
They
we
have a
can.
meeting Monday.
They have a meeting Monday.
Nice.
So unless you're going to meet sometime before their meeting.
No. It's a 3-day work week with this week. There's a holiday. Nobody's working.
No, but I'm just saying if you wanted to do it next Monday.
Well, that would at least give us time to reach out to
Yes.
the other 5 people and see if anyone is willing to step into the alternate position willingly.
And review the letters that were submitted.
Okay,
Yeah, I would
why don't we do
like
that?
to do that, yes.
Can you post a working meeting for Monday?
Yeah, time.
What's good for you?
They're all problematic, so just pick what's good for you and I'll fit it in.
You're the best. I think I have a doctor's appointment that morning in Springfield. I do, so can we do it like at 2?
It'll work. Somehow, it'll work.
Okay, so the other issue that we have is Susan Butler has applied for both a regular seat and an alternate seat.
So she applied for the alternate first and then came back the following week or 2 weeks later and put in a letter for a full appointment.
So I don't really see where there's a big issue because there's vacancies, so.
Yes, we have 2 vacancies.
So it leaves us without an alternate on the Housing Commission, but it still leaves us with a vacancy on housing. So I'll make a motion that we appoint Susan Butler to the Housing Commission for a 3-year term.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Appointment announcements. Ashley Falls Historic District Commission, these are for 3 years unless otherwise noted. Ashley Falls Historic District Commission, 1 vacancy, Bob Pascalina, and Cemetery Commission, 2 vacancies, Catherine Miller and Paul O'Brien. Take those up at our next regular meetings. Item number 5, discussion possible action regarding response to a 1-day alcohol license issue.
This you talked about tabling for the full board to be here to discuss this while Lee returns from vacation.
Thank you. Item number 7, motion, discussion and possible action regarding mobile food vendor application approvals. Did I skip 6?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, the condition of the Kellogg Road Bridge. Let's go right back to that one. I had several people express some concerns on the Kellogg Road Bridge. So I did run into Dave last week, our highway superintendent, and he told me that one of the state guys was there to, I think he was examining the underneath of the bridge, and when Dave asked him about the surface of the bridge, he said, "That's not my job. Someone else has to come and examine the surface of the bridge."
Interesting.
In the meantime, there's some extremely large potholes, and Dave's been told not to touch those potholes by the state. So I think that it's time for us to send a letter to DOT expressing that urgency in the examination of that bridge might be in order.
Considering the closure of Great Barrington's Bridge, that probably would be a really good idea because we know Kellogg is compromised, but we want to make sure that can stay open at least until the
We
other
called the
bridge.
state when that happened
Right.
and asked them, and so they moved up the inspection.
What does that mean? They moved up the inspection?
Well, it was-
Instead of June of 2027, it's now.
I think instead of like late summer,
Uh-huh.
they moved it up to whenever you said you spoke with Dave and the inspector was out.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is, we have a fairly good relationship with Lennox. Maybe we can just, ask for a meeting where they come down and take a look at the bridge, and maybe even just a phone call to Francesca. I don't know, whatever you think is most appropriate, but I think we need to put this on the do today rather than put off till tomorrow list. Now, let's go on to the mobile food vendor application.
You have three.
I'm going to start with the first one that's in front of me. Cousins Maine Lobster Truck is requesting to operate at 1375 North Main Street, which is the pass, between the hours of noon and 6 on July 16th. It looks to me like the application is complete, is
We
it?
approved this one for them for the Galmington,
They come quite often to do this.
but it's the same one that completed.
Yeah.
Listen, well, I'll make a motion that we approve it for Cousins Maine Lobster Truck.
Second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The next one is for Anand Kumar Singh Food Truck for the dates of 7/7, 7/21, 8/10, and 9/7. And I'm looking at the location of where they want to create.
So they're both at the Pass and the Berkshire Mountain Distillery.
Okay. Pass and Berkshire Mountain. He's not specific as to what kind of food it is.
It's Charlie's Bistro Bus is the name of the establishment. You may have them, I thought they had them in these applications.
I
They
don't,
might have to the Board of Health, but we
yeah,
don't.
I don't see a menu.
Don't see it here.
Whatever it is, you won't have to cook, Barb. So I'll make a motion that we approve the mobile food permit, mobile food vendor application as presented for the dates of July 7th, July 21st, August 10th, and September 7th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And the last one is for Los Loper Taco Truck? Is that an L? Loper?
I believe so.
Lopez. Thank you, Jill. Lopez. For a pop-up food truck event at Berkshire Mountain Distilleries on July 6th and the Sheffield Fair on September 7th. Oh, that's why that date's so fresh in my mind.
I'll make a motion that we approve the application for the two dates of July 6th and September 7th.
I'll second that. Any further discussion?
Pending documents that he needs to submit.
Oh, not complete.
Correct.
Okay,
But
so
I
pending.
think it's complete enough for you to take action.
Okay.
We'll just follow up with you to get some more.
Okay, pending documents to be provided but to the office. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Okay, discussion and possible action regarding the appointment to the Southern Berkshire School Committee. So we had a meeting on this last week, and I received, I had a conversation with Bonnie Silver on Thursday regarding the email that was sent by school council to us indicating that there was some concern that if we did not do the reappointment in November, that person's vote might be considered invalid. I was less than pleased with that email. I had a rather lengthy conversation with Bonnie about it. She took the time on Friday to contact Josh Coleman, who is the school's lawyer, and he graciously reached out to me. I called him Friday afternoon, and his point was that the issue was brought forward by the school committee chairman that if this person was not technically reappointed in November, and there was a tie vote of the school committee, that person's vote could be discounted if they weren't reappointed according to the interpretation that the attorney has of the regional agreement. So I took the time to go through the minutes of the last year at the school, and every one of their votes is usually 10 to zip or 9 to 1, with one abstaining or voting no, with the exception of one vote where it was a tie vote and it failed because it was a tie, 5-5. So I don't really know what you want to do with this, Bob. You know, do we want to spend our legal funds to have our attorney review this?
I don't think so. At this point, it seems like we're kicking this can around in a circle. If I have to make a second appointment, I would rather do that than to spend money on legal.
I don't disagree with you on that.
It seems kind of pointless right from the start that we have to appoint now and then appoint again in November, which it probably will be the same person. But if there's going to be this big of issue, we can get together for the half an hour and do what we have to do.
The attorney did say it might be wise to plan to post the position 2 weeks before we want to appoint it, which we would do probably right after the election, just to go through the normal process. And he also indicated that he felt that the chances of this ever really becoming an issue are slim to nil. But now that it's been brought to the forefront, somebody could essentially discount that individual's vote. So I was asked by the attorney to let him or Bonnie know tomorrow what our decision is. So I'll go ahead and make a call on that tomorrow to let them know that we'll go ahead and acquiesce to the double appointment.
You need to take a motion because your motion at the last meeting
Was to do one single appointment. So I make a motion that we rescind our last motion at the other meeting and make a double appointment after the November election.
So is that a problem because we're not the appointing authority and that's who actually voted to do? You don't really know.
You have 2 out of the 4 who voted positive sitting here now.
Okay. I'll second that motion. Any further discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nothing's easy. Nothing's easy. Number 9, discussion and possible action regarding transfer station deficit for 2024. Rhonda, would you bring us up to date on this?
So I'm not going to have a figure for you tonight, but I wanted you to be aware that the transfer station will end this year in a deficit balance. You cannot use reserve fund transfers to cover that, so I will be asking the Board of Selectmen to come up with a different solution. I will provide you with some options once we know all the bills are in and we do that, but this is due to the rising costs of recycling. It's crazy how much those cost. So this is why you see the transfer station stickers increasing. It's for us to try and keep up with it as well. We did use some of their transfer stations enterprise fund, which is kind of like our free cash that the state certifies, towards the budget this year, so that the sting and the increase maybe was a little less than what people expected.
Do we have an idea of the, is it all the recycling? Could we increase just the recycling coupon price?
We did that this year.
We did.
So this year, we've increased the budget a little bit, and we've increased the price of the coupons. But it just happens without any notice. It's all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We used to get paid a couple $1,000s a month from the MRF when we took our bottles and cans there, and so that started declining. Now we pay them.
Yeah. So it's gone in a direct opposite
Yes.
position. Okay, well, we'll look forward to the happy news on that. So we're at the most exciting part of the meeting, board member items. Bob, do you have anything?
I will just wish everybody a happy 4th of July, and hopefully everyone stays safe and enjoys themselves, so.
Thank you, Bob. And I would just like to remind citizens that we do still have openings on boards. Please don't hesitate to check out the town website and find a board that might be of interest to you. July 1st is when we start looking for new people to serve on the openings, and we certainly could use some additional people to serve on anything but conservation, because right now we have a plethora of people wanting to be there. Town administrator items, nothing. Public comment.
Sari Hoy, 60 Main. I was just thinking about the transfer stickers price going up, and I know that people get very upset about it, but I wonder if there's ever been like a side-by-side comparison for people to see what it costs for them to have a transfer sticker rather than going private, and whether that may quell some of the negative responses.
Well, I can tell them that I went to the transfer station because it saved me $700 a year from having my trash picked up every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So there's the reality of it.
And that's the point. I mean, that's a huge difference. So it's still a huge bargain for us to
Yes.
have the transfer station. And it's such a social occasion going to the transfer station.
I think one of the issues is if, for some people, it may be easier to pay the smaller monthly cost
Yeah.
than to come up with the entire sticker cost all at once, so.
And
But,
there's no way to have a payoff payment system.
I mean, if we had another 3 people in the office,
Yeah.
maybe, but
It's
I don't know
hard.
how we'd ever manage.
Keeping track of who paid, who owed, it would just be
Yeah.
it is what it is.
And at what point do you give the sticker to put on the car? Do you give it to the first payment?
Yeah, well, good point, Barb.
Or we'd be changing colors just
Yeah,
several
good
times.
point, Barb. Okay, any further public comment? In that case, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks for coming.